Alright, so it's another day, another time for recording. Oh no. That's right, it's patch day. Black Mesa Definitive Edition coming out just in time for Thanksgiving, and that means that all of our saves are null and void. Fortunately, Black Mesa, carrying over from Half-Life 2, has a level select. Plug your ears for a second. This is going to be loud. Yeah. Every time you start a level, it gives you what is a basic loadout for where you should be at that point in the game. Now then, Power Up. It's one of the more significant things that were changed in this patch. Evidently people thought that the original Power Up wasn't exactly clear what it wanted you to do, so not only is it showing the Gargantua getting electrocuted right at the start, but the game now funnels you into the power room so you can see the puzzle being put together. Also, instead of a couple of plugs, which people might miss, now it's a series of toggles for when we actually get the power back on. So overall, yeah, a lot clearer about what we're doing and where we need to go and what we need to do next. Also, we get a lovely thing where we get to flatten a head crab, and that's always great in my book. Of course, there is a problem. As you saw, the Gargantua turned out the lights, which means that combat is going to be, in the dark. Which comes with its own sort of set of issues. The entire game now has a lot more mood lighting in it. Sort of dynamic set pieces instead of a consistent lighting scheme, so you're going to see a whole lot more like emergency lights or things like, flares on the ground or lamps or stuff like that. Which is going to make things perhaps a little bit harder. Like, visibility is one of the key parts of a shooter. If you can't see what you're shooting at, but they can, then you're obviously at an immediate disadvantage. There's also one more thing that the Definitive Edition adds, and we'll be seeing this just about now. They've added what you might call supply crates. These are also imported from Half-Life 2. Basically, they're handy boxes that contain just whatever sort of item you might need at that point in time. These ones are a little bit different in that they have little markings on them which demonstrate just precisely what they're going to have. Oh, also, there's this little funny detail. They actually tethered the zombie here to an IV. I just think that's kind of funny. Anyway, that's basically Power Up in a nutshell. Everything else is pretty much unchanged. Like, you still go down to the basement, you still restart the generator, and that puts the lights on a little bit, and then, you hop out the window, you restart the power in the power room, and then you zap a big monster. It's all the same, so I'm not really going to trouble you with the finer details, just, run, activate on both sides, avoid the flamethrowers. Yeah, we've seen this before. Now we're going to be moving on to new stuff, but not just any new stuff. I actually had the ability to record before the patch went down, so we're going to be seeing a very rare phenomenon. A game in its finished form, pre-patch and after patch.
Hey, it's Freeman, right? Hold up a sec. One of your scientist pals said they'd give you a message. You're supposed to take this old rail system up to some sort of satellite delivery rocket or something. I don't know where it is exactly. The old guy was so worried about getting out alive, he didn't think to stop and tell me. Anyway, the main thing is, the military aborted the launch. So when you find the rocket, well, If you find the rocket, you'll have to get up to the control room and launch it yourself. He said something about a Lambda team needing the satellite in orbit if they were ever going to clean up this mess.
Lambda team? I know those guys.
Stick around and help any other stragglers.
So then, on a rail. We've seen the carts before. In fact, we've been launched off these carts before. But now it's time for us to have a dedicated level just entirely about carts. Although, not as much as in the original Half-Life 1. Before, it was almost sort of a maze, where you would have to manipulate various gate switches in order to change the direction of the tracks. I also dig this melody here. It's really nice and relaxing. So as I was saying, yeah, the original Half-Life 1, you would have to determine when you needed to turn the track over in order to get to where you needed to go, but the folks here at the Crowbar Collective, which is the Black Mesa development team, have decided that instead the cart only goes in one direction. There will be some alternative paths that we can go on, but for the most part it's just going to be the cart itself going in one direction and us having to find a way to open the path for the cart. You'll see. Ah, lovely music. Now where were we? Oh yes, right. We were trying to get someplace. Now naturally it's not going to be just a walk in the park. Yeah, a lot of things are going to try to disrupt our joyful little train ride. Theoretically speaking, we could have just driven past these guys though, but well, that's not my thing, is it? Right here, though. Right here, you would have had to, like, actually shoot a sign. Yes, I said that right. We're shooting railway signs in Half-Life 1 in order to make the cart turn. I am very thankful they did away with that, because it's just silly. And as we know, this game here, it is the epitome of seriousness. You know, I almost feel sorry for these guys. Like, yeah, they really do have the appearance of just indigenous wildlife that's been transplanted to a place they don't understand. And they're probably just reacting in self-defense, more or less. Now, barnacles, yeah, their entire thing seems to be just latching onto surfaces and waiting for prey to come by, so yeah, all they're doing is what they were made to do. Like, they're not malevolent in any case, they're just waiting for a snack. And head crabs, I mean, I'd be interested to see what they were latching onto before, but yeah, probably they just snack on people's heads for their nutrients. If you really think about it, all this, like, alien nature is just I mean, I guess you could say that the Vortigaunts, like, they might actually want our bones, but for the most part, everything else is just really confused alien wildlife. I mean, they're still in our way, and they're still trying to kill us, mind you, but all the same, like, they're not evil. They just are. I mean, it's still not going to stop us from shooting them in the head. But I can sort of see why it might be that there could be a bit of a miscommunication, sort of a misunderstanding between all of us. Also, hi, yeah, barnacles will grab grenades. That's new. For the most part, it might be better to just live and let live. But, yeah. There's sort of an entertainment value in exploding things, you know? Disturbing as that might sound, and it probably does sound very disturbing. Anywho, putting a plug in and then pressing a button, hooray for our PhD, allows us to cross this bridge. Now, originally, yeah, they sort of had the thing automatically stop at this bridge, which is a little bit confusing. I guess they didn't want to cause an instance where the thing would get confused as to whether or not there's a bridge there. Now then, this cargo elevator. Obviously, like, it's carrying us up, but what else is coming up with us? Oh yes, the military's here. Why wouldn't they be? It's a very bad idea to throw grenades straight up, by the way, as you might imagine. But you might have seen there that, yeah, we're about to head up into what is a nest of lasers. So we'd best be prepared. Fortunately, if we fall off the platform, there's this emergency ladder. They really did think of everything, didn't they? Alright, let's be systematic about this. Step 1. They gave us some SMG grenades down there in case we didn't have any regular grenades, but honestly, using SMG grenades in order to take out turrets is such a waste, don't you think? And you might be wondering, okay, all the turrets are down, but why are the lasers still up? That's because, as we've seen, as long as you could potentially put a turret back on its legs, then it's not considered to be disabled. That turret there, that's not smoking. We need to make it smoke. There we go. Let it not be said that smoking is entirely bad for you. Oh, hello. This is one of the first changes that you're going to see if you play this game now. The Definitive Edition basically takes control of the cart away from you for this segment and has you just drift forward uncontrollably. Meaning that if you don't hop off the cart right away, you're going to get a face full of turret. And more besides. There's another trap coming up, and yeah, where there's red lasers, there's blue lasers. Yeah, I feel your frustrated sigh, man. Now this is something a little bit confusing. It seems like if you're at anything below 100 health, then one of the random things that Marines can say is that they got a hit on you, even if they've never seen you before in their life. Which is really kind of weird, don't you think? Bit of an AI quirk that I hope they iron out at some point. Ooh, wait, what's this here? Sounds like we're in a bit of a fracas. Might as well just leave them to it. We can just pick up the pieces afterwards.
Just when I was starting to feel lonely. Sounds like the troops are fixing to throw you a surprise party. Better clear your dance card, Slick.
No, they've already got themselves a partner. But maybe I can cut in a little bit. Yeah, the sound of flying giblets means you're doing it correctly. Dang, I really sound like a psycho sometimes, don't I? Anywho, yeah, security guards. Not just restricted to pistols. They can actually use whatever weapons you put in their dang hands. After all, this is more or less a variation on Half-Life 2, where, yeah, allied units could use essentially anything. Although, yeah, the security guard is going to be of negligible use here because for some reason they're nowhere near as aggressive with shotguns as they are with handguns. Oh, sorry fella there, I think I might have shot him in the back of the head. He doesn't seem too the worse for wear. Hey, is that a Lambda symbol? Yeah, it was a Lambda symbol. Lambda, as I understand, is the symbol for radioactive decay or something.
Pardon me, Doc.
Which is an interesting symbol to use as the, turret gun. You know, these guys wouldn't have appeared if we hadn't grabbed this turret. It's sort of a strange principle that turret sections just naturally cause shootable targets to just materialize out of the ether. It's one of those properties of physics that people don't really talk about. But anyway, yeah. For my limited scientific knowledge, and I might be completely making this up, and so if I am, I apologize. But, yeah. Obviously, like, the Lambda symbol has to do with radiation, which makes a lot of sense in the terms of what the whole game is about, but it's sort of become this thing that's not really associated with, like, more people probably know about the Lambda symbol from this series than they do actually know about it from, you know, science. Anyway, pressing this lever here, pulling the lever, brings us to this open section where we have to, well, launch this rocket. They did say we had to do that, right? The basic idea is that we go up this multiple-tiered structure, opening gates behind us as we go, with minimal resistance as we progress. It's, honestly not the most exciting section. Like, I feel like they could have done a little bit more with it. And in general, like, you're only going to deal with one dude at a time, and, well, it's for this reason, I believe, that we're about to see an alternative version. You see, the Definitive Edition, one of the main changes that it made, was an alteration to what it calls On a Rail Map B, which is where we are right now. A number of things get fundamentally altered, to make it for a more streamlined experience that feels a little less like you're backtracking. You'll see what I mean coming up right about... now, maybe... no, timeline says a few seconds. But yeah, like at the end of this they just give you a card, which is really strange. So they decided to go for a different direction, in that you start with a card and you keep the card that you started with. How do they manage this? Well, by changing the track so that you end up on the opposite gate in this little area. What wait, you say? There are wooden walkways in the way. Right you are. What are we going to do about that? Ooh, wait. Hit an item first. They thought they could hide that from me. Sneaky. Anyway, so what do we do about these wooden walkways? Well, simply put, we plow right on through. I'm sorry, that was a really terrible laugh. And now things have been changed up quite a bit, haven't they? I mean, it's not immediately obvious, but yeah, already you see that there are head crabs on the track. And what's more... well, this is going to be really mind-blowing. Yeah, it's time for an elevator ride up the rocket. Sort of a sightseeing tour as we approach what will be a more in-depth examination of what our objective is. Great take, buddy. So yeah, there are actually zombies assaulting the rocket, and instead of starting at the bottom, now we're starting at the top and working our way down. Essentially, by making it so you have one continuous cart, they turn the entire sequence on its head. So now, yeah, you see the button and you see that the gates have to be closed before you see the gates. And yeah, more enemies. Lots more enemies. Suddenly there's a whole lot more of a pitched firefight as you go down and you close all these gates. And this is good. This is a magnificent change. I like this. Yep, that's the sound of progress. I'm always a little nervous whenever I hear something on fire, though. That's usually the sign that something's about to explode. You might also see some slowdown here. For some reason, the game doesn't really like it when a lot of things fall on the platform itself. Considering, you know, then you have to dump a whole bunch of stuff off the platform and have it, I guess, get unloaded. It's a bit of a taxing process. And of course, collision isn't always the best. Maybe that's something they can patch out later. But you know what? For an early effort, I'd say this is fine. And once we get down to the bottom level, we just, hitch a ride on an elevator and takes us all the way back to the top. You've seen what it was like. Like, overall, like the original Rocket Ascension was kind of boring and it didn't have a whole lot going on. I feel like this is a whole lot more interesting.
All personnel. Launch control train activated. Clear area immediately.
Yeah, this is actually somewhat important because, yeah, the rocket has been put into position, but we actually haven't launched it yet. So, we've got to take that next step if we want to actually, you know, save the day, I guess. Is that what we're doing? Are we actually saving the day? I mean, I guess we sort of gotten sidetracked from saving our own skins, so... yeah, I guess we're the hero because heroism is kind of along the way. If you know what I mean. Basically, it's sort of like... since you're in the neighborhood, Mr. Freeman, why don't you save all of humanity? I really hope that people in the future don't think we're some big hero because of this. Like, literally, this is the only place we can go to. Oh crap, you killed the cart, you jerks. That cart was like a friend to me. Yeah. This 50 cal doesn't even summon enemies. They've really made things a bit of a pain for us, since now we're going to have to hoof it again. But oh well, at least they have a handy charger here, so that this ambush doesn't hurt us too much. I'm going to wander around like an idiot for a little bit here, so I think I just cut it all out. Like so.
So, who is this guy? Freeman. Science team. What, so you think this guy is responsible? Sabotage, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. All I know for sure is this guy's been killing Marines.
Oh, yeah. He'll pay. He will definitely pay.
I don't know why, but that just seems to be appropriate. Like that particular timing. I might be a sadist, it's hard to tell. But yeah. They think we're evil because we've been killing Marines, and, you know, Marines have been trying to kill us, so we've been fighting back, so it's sort of like one of those weird cycle of violence type things. Like, and it's just as nonsensical here as it is in such highly acclaimed games as The Last of Us 2. Anywho, it's time for a big firefight. This one can actually be a little bit messy because, yeah, they're all spread out over a wide area, and your one precision weapon doesn't have a whole lot of ammo. Fortunately, they spread a whole bunch of healing items around for your general use. And yeah, I'm not too proud of how this goes. I sort of start to fumble around and panic a bit. Like, you'll sort of start seeing it happen right about, here. Yeah, I seriously thought they would stumble into this. I'm the genius. And now here I am trying to pistol them. But oddly enough, it somehow worked out that they all, like, got right in front of the 50 cal. So it ended up being, like bizarrely, like everything went to plan. When most obviously it did not. But oh well. We're not a grizzled, like, badass space marine. We're just, you know, a scientist.
I didn't sign off for this shit. Monsters? Hell yeah. But civilians? What is this damn operation anyway?
I don't know who ordered it, but I know who's gonna finish it. Alrighty, Launch Control Central. Now we just need to flex our mighty muscles and press another button.
Satellite launch system activated. 20 seconds remaining. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, wow, that's kind of bright. Yeah, I'm not going to look directly at it. Like, it's very, very bright. Like, this game kind of assaults you both visually and auditory. Audibly. I don't know. The point is that, yeah, like, unless you want to turn things down, things are a little bit overwhelming sometimes. Hey, open door. Now that your job is done, it might be a little bit daunting to find out where you need to go next, so they put some handy green lights out in order to demonstrate precisely where the next objective is. And oh look, a working truck. Too bad we don't have the keys. Like, looks like they turned the truck on but then locked the door. It's not like there's anywhere we could have gone anyway. Like, this whole area is kind of sealed off. But maybe we could have crashed through a fence. Point being, though, that, yeah. Now that we've launched the rocket and we've, you know, lost our main cart, it's sort of like we're going to have to improvise a little bit. But hey, I see a yellow cart-shaped object down there. That'll do in a pinch. And actually, this will bring us to the end of On a Rail. So, I hope I see you guys next time when we go to someplace a tad more aquatic. Which is a problem because I have a confession to make, folks. I am deathly scared of sharks. So, next update should be fun. Sure.